Hi there, I'm Professor E. Welcome to the Robot Program. In this episode, I'm going to show you how you can make some modifications to your robot using some basic craft and household supplies. The great thing about the plastics of Easy Robot is that we can make some modifications using hot glue and still get it off afterwards. So to prove this, I am going to stick on this letter E with some hot glue. So it's just a piece of foam, and I have a spare hexapod dome here. So I'm going to put on a little bit of hot glue, and I'm using low temp hot glue here, and stick it to the top of my dome. Okay, we've got E for Professor E. And we're going to let that cool. And while we let that glue harden, I'm also going to draw on my robot shell using a Sharpie. And again, we'll be able to get it off afterwards because of the plastic that we're using on our Revolution robots. So let's draw some swirls. Maybe a star or two. And these are regular Sharpies. So any color you want, draw whatever you want. Let's get some black on here. Now there's lots of reasons why you might want to modify your robot. For example, in biomimetic robots, we're taking examples from nature as inspiration for what our robots are doing. And I'm going to use a biomimetic inspiration to modify AdventureBot. But first I'm going to show you how we can get off everything we just stuck on this dome so that it's nice and clean again. So this is really stuck on there, the hot glue. I can't just pull it off. And if we look at the Sharpie, that Sharpie is on there. I can't rub that off with my hands. So this is good. As your robot walks around and does whatever you want it to do, none of that is going to come off. So to actually get these craft supplies off, we can use something such as whiteboard spray, Windex, or even regular rubbing alcohol. So I'm going to use rubbing alcohol, and I'm just going to put a little bit on a tissue. You can even spray it right on if you want. So as soon as I spray it on, you can see that the Sharpie is already starting to dissolve. So I'm just going to give it a rub. You might have to use a little bit extra and a little bit of elbow grease. You can see that the red Sharpie leaves a little bit of pink behind. So that means we just have to rub a little bit more, maybe add some more rubbing alcohol. And that's also going to loosen up the hot glue. So it peels right off. I'll put my E over here, and there's no hot glue left behind. All I have left is a little bit of Sharpie. So I'm going to get a little more rubbing alcohol. I'm going to keep scrubbing. There we go. So we're back to a clean slate. So now let's do a larger modification to one of our robots. Okay, so I've got AdventureBot here. And I have a program where AdventureBot moves forward and goes in circles and kind of behaves like a ladybug. So let's turn AdventureBot into a ladybug. So again, I've got my low temp hot glue. First thing we're going to add are some eyeballs and some antennae. So I'm going to put some hot glue on my eyeballs. A lot of hot glue there. And then let's attach his antenna. Okay. So let that cool for a second. Get the glue right in there. Now I'm going to glue the eyeballs to AdventureBot. So I'm going to put some hot glue across the bottom here. And now let's stick it to the top of AdventureBot. It's kind of silly with his eyes. He's going to be a cute, cute ladybug. There we go. So let's just let our glue cool. See if we can bend his antenna. I'm just using some red mesh tubey stuff here. Just regular craft supplies you can find at the dollar store. Here we go. Okay, those eyeballs are starting to cool. They're stuck on there pretty well. Okay, now a ladybug is not complete without spots. So I've got my red and black Sharpie. Our ladybug is going to be multicolored. I'm going to do both types of spots. So across my dome, Let's fill in a couple spots. Okay, now some black ones. And again, these are just regular household Sharpies. Okay. So now let's actually control our adventure bot and see our ladybug in motion. So I have to bring up my phone and I can control my adventure bot using the Easy Mobile app. Okay, so I've already got up AdventureBot's app and I need to connect. So let's turn him on. And again, I can touch the robot. Everything is secure. My Sharpie isn't going anywhere. I'm going to turn on AdventureBot. There we go. Okay, now press my connect button. And I'm going to find my Wi-Fi connection. EasyBee V4 AdventureBot. Good, we'll go back. And hit connect. Okay, so let's drive our ladybug and have him make some sounds. What do ladybugs sound like? How about R2-D2? I think if ladybugs could talk, that's probably what they'd say. So we can drive him around, get him going forward. He can stop, make some horn sounds, make some laser sounds. Maybe our ladybug is shooting lasers. So when you're programming, now you can make a program to actually control your robot in a way that you think mimics a ladybug behavior. Or maybe you've modified your robot to look like something else. This is your chance to have the outside of your body match the behaviors that you want it to exhibit. Okay, let's disconnect. And we are going to try to modify JD now. Okay, so now JD is ready for his turn getting modifications. And over in the corner, we have Darth Vader. If you watched our Star Wars episode, you've seen him before, but he's an example of how you can take your modifications even further. You can use a 3D printer to change your actual body parts of your robot. In this case, he's painted black using spray paint, but that's permanent. So don't do that, use your Sharpies. But his cape is stuck on using hot glue. So it's the exact same method that we're using here. So I'm gonna make some modifications to our JD. Let's put his initials onto his front here. So make sure I don't do this upside down. So we want JD. So let's put some hot glue onto our little foam letter here. Okay, so we're gonna put the J over here. Good, so that sticks down right away. And we're gonna put the D on the other side. Okay. JD, there we go, buddy. Now you've got your initials on your front. JD, easy robot. I think JD needs a hat. So we're gonna give him a little bit of an outfit here. So I've got all these pipe cleaners and I'm going to twist them together. So I'm using these to demonstrate some of the different craft supplies that will work with your robot. If you're not sure, just test it on a small area before you really commit to using a certain type of material. So I'm going to put some hot glue at the front. Now you have to think about your design. So my design here is going to block his camera. So if I have a program where I need to use the camera, I won't be able to see anything. So keep that in mind when you're modifying your robot. In this case, let's glue it to the front. Now I'm going to start wrapping it around his head. All the way around the back. Now I find it easier to leave JD lying down, but I could also stand him up if I need to get to his back. Make sure you're using a turned off robot as well because you don't want to damage anything while you're doing the modifications. Starting to run out of hot glue here. Okay. Whoop! Pipe cleaners are escaping. Hold on, though. Look at that. I got glue everywhere. Everywhere, JD. Okay. All right, you know what? I think we are going to make a funky bow in the front or something here. It's not going to be beautiful, but it's going to get the point across. There we go. Oh, he looks like a hippie JD. All right, so this is JD from the 60s with a headband. All right, so you can get as creative as you want to. So here we've got our hot glue. We've got JD across his chest. We've given him some sort of a headband, hat thing. And the last thing we're going to do is add some Sharpie. How about a mustache? Let's give him a mustache. There we go. Looking good, JD. So using Sharpies, a little hot glue, you can really change the appearance of your robots. In this episode, we showed you how to make physical modifications to your robots using craft supplies and household supplies. Hot glue can be used to connect any craft supply to your robot, and Sharpies can be used to give it a little bit of creative flair. To remove the craft supplies and the Sharpie and return your robot to a clean state, you can use household supplies such as Windex or whiteboard spray and even rubbing alcohol to remove the supplies. If you're not sure about a particular craft supply, try it in a little spot before you commit to the whole robot. Thanks for watching this episode, and we'll see you next time. Why are physical robot modifications used? What adhesive can be used for temporary modifications? What removal compound was demonstrated? Find the answers at therobotprogram.com.